in the sport. We are here in what has been termed the bubble.
Okay, here we go. Okay, gentlemen, you both received your instructions in your dressing room. Okay, right here is good. Right here is good. I want a good, clean fight. Obey my commands at all times. Above all, protect yourselves at all times. Let's go.
Terence Crawford again fighting not just an opponent, but the critics. The business of boxing, as he would simply tell you, the constant haters, those who try to debase his credentials, questioning who has he really fought instead of looking at how he fights, what it looks like when he fights. The guy who's opposite him right now, Kell Brook, is a believer in how it should be done. Take the toughest fight. By doing that, he became a world champ once, and he had titanium fused to his orbital bones twice. Now he's refreshed. Can he do what no other fighter has, what 36 have failed at? We find out now. Round number one, and Dre, I offer you this. Among all the analysis of what could happen in this fight that gives Kell Brook hope is that Bud Crawford at times has been a slow starter. In fact, Dre, the fight we did against Egis Kavyaskis, Egis outlanded Crawford total punches over the course of the first 3 rounds. What should be Brook's approach early on?
Well, he can't get reckless, but he needs to start fast, start picking up that jab. I think Brook is realizing right now that Terence Crawford is a lot longer than he realized, and the space between, where he is now and actually hitting Crawford is a lot further than he realized. But yes, coming off 11-month layoff, being, a slow starter historically, the first few rounds, Brook wants to win those. But it looks like Brook is playing Crawford's game now. He's watching, he's studying, and I don't think he can outthink Crawford. He's got to start to let those hands go as he comes behind that left hand.
See, Brook thing is timing. That's his thing. He wants to time Crawford on the way in. Brook also has a great jab, a sharp jab, a strong jab. And you can see Terence Crawford trying to figure out how he can land his jab without getting hit. Another thing, Crawford typically comes out in the southpaw stance, but he came out in the right-handed stance, probably to confuse Kell Brook.
He has power in either hand, Crawford. He has finished guys, whether it is orthodox or southpaw, but in recent years, we have seen plenty of Crawford, mostly in the southpaw stance, and wildly effective in doing so. Here he comes out as a righty. And there is that jab from Kell Brook as he goes to the body against the champ.
Brook jabbing extremely well right now. Not just to the head, but as you just saw, also to the body.
There he throws the right hand behind it.
Brook has a brilliant 1-2. It's automatic. It's his favorite combination, but his jab right now is landing.
He just scored with it accurately upstairs against Crawford.
And that's what it's about. It's about breaking the timing and the rhythm of Terence Crawford. And you have to do that with your jab. Set it up. The power hand, which is the right hand for Brook.
As he goes southpaw for a moment, doubles up the right hand jab, and then comes with a left. Good exchange here as he switches back to righty. Back ringside here for round number 2 of our welterweight championship fight. Tim Bradley, in that first round, Kell Brook threw 17 jabs, effectively landed 6 of them.
Look, timing is what Kell Brook is special at. He has a 69-inch reach. You have to understand that. He has the shorter arms in this matchup, but he knows when to throw his jab, and at the right time, at the right distance, and at the right speed.
Funny to say that he doesn't have the reach. I mean, just look at the size advantage. Look at the size across the shoulders, across the back. Look at the muscles popping in the upper body of Kell Brook, and the base he has as well, that foundation with the legs.
And see, what I noticed is that Kell Brook is taking a page out of Egis Kalayaskis. He's being patient. He's waiting. He's looking.
Jab is giving Crawford a lot of problems right now. You see him thinking, and Brook is doing the right thing. He's jabbing. That's the most important thing he can do right now because it sort of keeps him out of danger. It helps him to kind of create his range and where he wants to let his shots go, and it's also got Crawford thinking. The fight's going to get interesting if Crawford is able to make adjustments. I've seen Brook have a great plan A. He's got a great boxing ability, but when fights get deep and there's time to make adjustments, like in the Spence fight, I don't see him make that adjustment. We've seen Crawford do it in the past. He's going to have to do it right now because plan A, Brook has the advantage.
Spence fight happened in May of 2017. That was the last time Brook fought at this 147-pound limit. He was fighting brilliantly, and then Spence got to him with the power and scored an 11th round TKO with a broken left orbital bone suffered.
You also want to see how Brook takes the shots of Crawford as he starts to land clean, flush shots.
Right now, it's a battle of patience. Neither fighter can afford to make a mistake, and as you see, Brook stepped in just a tad bit, and Terence had combinations waiting on him.
Just fired off a right uppercut, did Kell Brook.
Brook has every punch in his arsenal. He has a strong left hook. He also has a straight right hand and a beautiful uppercut. And as you can see, his jab is giving Terence Crawford problems, and Terence goes southpaw.
Crawford switches for one of two reasons. Either he sees something or what he was doing in the right-handed stance wasn't working.
What do you suspect here, Dre?
I think the latter is true. The right-handed stance wasn't working, and he wants to see if he can get something going from the left-handed stance.
Stop. No.
And a 2 in Vegas. Joe, Tim, and Dre with you here in Vegas. Round number 3 of the championship fight. According to CompuBox, Bud Crawford opponents land just 21% of their total punches. That is number 1 in the world among welterweights. So far tonight, Kell Brook is landing 36% of his punches against Terence Crawford.
So don't think that Kell Brook is worried about Terence Crawford going southpaw. He's not worried about that at all because he's used to that. He comes from the Ingles gym. He's used to seeing switch hitters in his gym, guys that switch from orthodox to southpaw. It's nothing to him.
You mentioned the Ingle gym. That is the veteran British trainer Dominic Ingle, who has trained Kell Brook since the start of his career. But Ingle opted out of this world title fight due to COVID concerns because Kell Brook trains in the Canary Islands for training camp. Ingle did not want to travel and then have to quarantine nor come to the United States. So instead, Carlos Formento is the trainer in the corner of Kell Brook. First time they've ever worked together.
I'll tell you one thing that the southpaw stance has done. It's taken the jab away. See, he's not landing his jab consistently anymore.
Well, when Crawford turns southpaw, he's not even throwing.
That's what happens. That's what turning southpaw does. But it does allow you to land a right hand like Brook just landed on Crawford right now.
The right hand
hands-free.
can be the best weapon against
I
a
got you.
southpaw. And of course, when he is in that lefty stance, you will see that right hand of Bud Crawford, as it is right now, hanging right over the front of Kell Brook.
Listen, Crawford has the reach advantage, but he's going to have to close the distance on Kell Brook. He told us in the build-up to this fight that Brook can't fight mid-range and in close. Right now, Brook is winning the battle from the outside. Crawford's got to slowly start to close that space.
There's that right lead again from Kell Brook. Minute to go here in round 3. Pretty good start for the challenger, the former IBF welterweight champion. The guy who says he's rejuvenated 3 fights since he lost the welterweight championship to Errol Spence.
That's how Errol Spence had success against Brook. He closed the distance and started to bully Kell Brook. He started to fight him in close. Brook fought back valiantly, but he really didn't have any answers for that.
See Crawford having his moments there.
I see some swelling already. On the right eye of Terence Crawford, in the right hand, right down the middle, that just lands for Kell Brook.
And there's a right hand from Crawford.
Way to answer that right hand.
One of the youngest rising stars in the sport, Shakur Stevenson, saying he expects his good friend Terence Bud Crawford to pick up the pace here. CompuBox has Kell Brook 24 of 99 punches, Crawford 25 of 93. Shakur Stevenson will fight December 12th in this ring against Toka Khan Cleary. Shakur, the recent featherweight champion, now contending at 130 pounds, looking for a showdown for a belt here. Round number 4.
Crawford has to continue to get his lead foot outside the lead foot of Brook to have success with his offense. That will put him in a safe position to let his combinations go. Beautiful right hand.
And the champ gets to him.
Get over here.
Just like that.
Get over here.
Terence Bud Crawford hits the
6,
gas.
7. Hey, come to me. Come to me. You all right? Yeah. Give you a chance.
One of the best closers in the game. 27 knockouts in his career. Do we have 28 right here?
This fight is also
Thundering in. Look at Crawford. Vicious attack to close it.
No.
And he stares him down.
Okay.
With his family here, his wife Isha, Miss Deborah, his mom, he does it again. Slow start, that boils up, and a thunderous finish here in Vegas, wasting no time. Started, Kell Brook has, Crawford demolishes him.
That's why this is called a 12-round fight. Slow start, but great finish. Great finish. You got to account for that 12-month layoff for Terence Bud Crawford.
Kell Brook just said to his corner, what happened? Bud Crawford just happened.
Fellas, I said I wanted to see what Kell Brook does when he tastes the power of Terence Crawford. Well, we just got our answer.
There it is.
They have come from Omaha. They took COVID tests today to enter the bubble. His family is here to witness the next chapter. The 37th win. The 28th knockout. The newly minted #1 pound-for-pound fighter in the world came out to prove his status. What do we say that he told us yesterday? That this is the hurt business, that you don't play boxing, and he would show